All right, welcome back to the channel. Man, Eddie Hearn can't win for losing, huh? Could be that the Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua fight could be moved from Saudi Arabia. Let's talk about that and the silliness of it being there in the first place in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Also, I want to thank everybody that comes to the channel, listens to the videos, and especially the people that listen to the video all the way to the end. You guys are a pleasure to talk to in the comment section. Thank you very much. Also, thank you to everybody that attends the live streams that we do Monday through Friday and Sunday OG Boxing Talk with myself, Blood Boxing, KQKC Boxing, Curtis Anderson. And thank you to everybody that subscribes to Fanon's Business and Politics on the Patreon. Now, let's get that. Now we got all that good stuff out the way. Let's talk about Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz, or should I say, Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, who should be fighting for the WBA, WBO, and IBF championships in somewhere in Saudi Arabia in December. Now, not too long ago, people were pointing out that it was absolutely ridiculous for this fight to be taking place over there for a bunch of reasons. Like, neither fighter is from there. It is a very close and could be called, like a war zone. That there are now not actual fighting there, but what happens? Somebody blows up their oil fields. It is a place where the U.S. has a travel advisory, which basically says, don't go there unless you absolutely have to, because, they might do something like kidnap you. They might do something like, all kind of things that happen when you're over in some very politically, intense and confrontational situation. So not too long after they settle in and they have the fight, again, that's what happens. Something happens in that area that now makes it necessary to make a plan B. And if they would have just thought to begin with that, not all money is good money. Not all money is good money. Either have the fight in the UK where it's predictable, more than, there's a chance something could go wrong, but more than likely there's not. Go back to New York where it was beforehand, because the only crazy thing that happened in New York when they had that bout there was that Anthony Joshua got dropped 4 times and quit up against the ropes. That's the only catastrophic event that took place there. But of course, Eddie Hearn is saying, that they really don't have any fear of this being any danger for the fight. But they are planning on it. They have found an alternative venue, right? This venue is way far away from where that particular incident took place, right? If you ever heard of a phrase, and it is a wise saying, better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. If you know that there is any chance of something really crazy happening, why in the world would you pursue that route? Now, interestingly enough, I've been studying a little bit about UK politics, and there is this thing called an exit, right? Britain's exit from the European Union, right? And there was this article that came out, or they got leaked, where they talked about what is the worst case scenario if this thing takes place, right? I'm trying not to use a lot of political words in here because it's a boxing video and, you know, you never know, man, when somebody's going to demonetize or flag you for talking about certain things. So that's why I'm just calling it Britain's exit, right? Britain's exit. Now, Britain's exit, if they exit there and stop being part of the union of these European countries, what is the worst thing that could happen? What they said was the worst thing that could happen is mass riots in the street. You know who Marshall is? Martial law. Basically, this completely crazy and dangerous situation is the worst case scenario of what would happen if this exit from Britain takes place, right? Whether it's with no deal, with a no deal, like I still got to understand how the no deal portion of that comes into play, but we working on it. So why would you do it to begin with? It's ridiculous. It's reckless. That's what the general consensus is. It is reckless. But why would people be thinking about doing it? So that they can stick the thumb in the eye of the people that have been screwing them over for years, right? But that, like I said, that's more for the business and politics side. I'm trying to be really skate over there. But just use an example that people really do things. People really do things sometimes and not realize what the worst case scenario can be as a result of them making that decision. That's what you call a bad decision. Explain that to my son. You look at what's a good decision. A good decision is either doing something you're supposed to do, right? Do something you're supposed to do or not do something that you're not supposed to do. A bad decision is not doing something that you're supposed to do and doing something that you're not supposed to do. But in that calculation of what is a good decision, you have to think about, well, what would happen if I did it? What is the worst thing that could happen if I said, hey, you know, somebody bet me $5, I'm going to run through traffic as fast as I can, right? What's the best thing that can happen if you get to the other side? Well, man, I get the money, right? What's the worst thing that could happen? A lot of slow singing and flower bringing. A lot of slow singing and flower bringing is the worst thing that can happen. Okay, you wind up 6 feet under. So is it worth it? So you think about that in the context. You think about this decision of Eddie Hearn and these guys to go over there for this box. What is the best thing that can happen? The best thing that can happen for them is Anthony Joshua makes, he wins his championship back. He becomes a bigger star than ever. They make a bunch of money, right? That's the best case scenario. What's the worst case scenario? A lot of slow singing and flower bringing. If you guys are familiar with the Biggie Small songs, there'll be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing if my burglar alarm starts ringing, which means you might be going to a funeral home. That's the worst case scenario. So you make a lot of money in the best case scenario. In the worst case scenario, it's a massive tragedy. Do you think that's a good decision? Now, they made it saying this is a safe area. There's nothing wrong with this. But then even though it might be far away. Now, Eddie Hearn says, well, that's way far away. You don't think people have cars? Way away from what? Where were the people that did that? Where are the people current? Do you think they live there, Eddie? Do you think the people that did that lived right next to it like some neighborhood cats jumped out and did that? Of course not. They traveled there. Just like you're traveling from the UK there. They can travel there. Okay? And what better way to destabilize something than to make a big issue at a big sporting event? You think they don't know you're going to be there? You don't think they know that there's going to be people from all over the world looking there? But no, it's no worries, nothing to see here. No worries, nothing to see here. It's just a bad decision. And it's based on them wanting to, the best case scenario. Best case scenario is make a lot of money. Worst case scenario is slow singing and flower bringing. Okay? Not a good decision. Not a good decision. The much better decision was just pay Andy Ruiz enough money to go to the UK. Okay? Just pay him enough money to go to the UK. This cash out it's just an unnecessary risk. And the risk got highlighted with the activities that occurred in the country that they're going to. So, but at least they are acknowledging, hey, worst case scenario, we'll find somewhere else to go. But I bet you they're saying somewhere else to go in the same area with the money financed by the same people. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Is it a good decision to do it over there? Do you think that they'll back out? Personally, I think that they're going to be at the same place. And, chances are everything will run smoothly. But, if it don't, it don't. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. With that, I'm out. Peace.